Guys, it's Melanie. So today I'm going to do a chit chat get ready with me video. I have already applied my Paula's Choice Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense. I normally wait about 5 minutes after I put this on to start my makeup because it's a little bit tacky at first. But this has been my go-to moisturizer and SPF for most of the summer. This has actually helped to control my oil a little bit better even than the Sarah McNamara Miracle Skin Transformer does. Don't get me wrong, I'm going back to that probably in October, but this has been great during the summer months because it also has a higher SPF. So this is an SPF of 30, whereas the Sarah McNamara only has an SPF of 20. I also put on my eye primer. Today I am using the Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer. This is just one that I'm trying to use up. So Stella is going to be kind of hopping in and out of the video. Do you want to come say hi real quick? Say hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I brought the necklace with me.
Oh, good. You brought your necklace.
Oh, no, my high heel.
Uh-oh, your high heel.
I brought to pick it up.
Stella finally got her bangs cut. I was trying to grow them out because I thought that that would be... Oh, you broke this.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did. See? It's broken. Mama can't fix that.
Well,
Sorry, girlfriend.
Arlene's going to be sad about it.
Yeah, Arlene is going to be sad about it. You were supposed to give that back to her. We were trying to grow her bangs out, but she never lets me do her hair, and so I just was like, no, if you're not going to let me do your hair to where we can pull it like in pigtails or ponytail, you can't have the bangs. They were just getting a little bit too crazy. So anyway, I thought in today's chit chat video, I would sort of finish out my final thoughts on our trip. A couple of people had asked to share a little bit more in-depth information about what everything cost, how we chose to like stay where we were going to stay. By the way, I'm going to link everything that I'm using on my face down below for you. So this isn't meant to be like a tutorial or anything. So, okay. So to start out with, we were very fortunate. Well, let's say the main reason that we went to Germany was for our friend Felix's wedding. So he got married in a little town called Bad Bruckenau, and I actually showed in one of my vlogs, it's called Best Resort Ever. I showed you guys the entire grounds of the resort, and it's phenomenal. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it and then just go to stay there for like a week because it's amazing. But that was our main reason for heading over to Germany, and then we basically tacked on an additional vacation to that like purpose for the trip. So we had a huge amount of airline miles. A lot of times Craig and I will pay our major bills and like groceries and stuff with our credit card, obviously paying it off at the end of the month, but that way we accrue miles for airline tickets. So we had accrued 200,000 miles, essentially 200,000 points. I think it was 200,000 points, which equaled to 2 tickets to Europe. So we got our tickets paid for with our airline miles, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it took 100,000 points for each ticket. So basically all of our airline miles are gone. We have to build them back up. But honestly, that saved a huge amount of money. Airline tickets to Europe can vary greatly. Obviously, sometimes they're going to be better prices than others. We went during kind of a peak season. So we were lucky to get seats, and we didn't have too many problems. The only issue we had was Craig had put the tickets in my married name, and my passport and my resident alien card are still in my maiden name because I hadn't had to renew it since we got married. So that was a hassle, and it almost affected us getting out to Germany on time. Like we were within like minutes of them like being done boarding the plane by the time that we finally got to our gate when we were leaving. It was really kind of stressful, but lesson learned. All of your documents have to be in the same name as the ticket, obviously, duh, but we just didn't even think about it. So anyway, tickets were paid for, which was nice. And then for all of like our hotel rooms, I went to Trivago, which was a really great site to use because they, like Booking.com and Some of like those other like sites that search several different, like Expedia and Hotels.com and stuff like that. Trivago is great because it just kind of pulls it all together and gives you just a ton of options, and it was really easy to navigate and really easy to book through them. So I basically just typed in the names of the towns that we were going to and then looked up 4-star hotels. We didn't need super, super nice hotels, but we wanted, you know, clean places to stay. So in the place where we stayed the longest, which is like the area that my family was from, we did more of like a holiday, like apartment essentially. It had like a bedroom, a kitchen, dining room area, and then it had like a huge bathroom. So that was really nice. It was almost like a bed and breakfast, but you had like your own kitchen area. So that was really nice. And I want to say that we paid maybe 80 or 90 euros a night. So everything was in euros. So it's going to be a little bit more once you convert it because the euro is higher than the dollar. So that's something to keep in mind. It was pretty darn close when we were going. So, for example, I took $900 worth of cash to the bank and we got 790 euros. So really the conversion wasn't super bad. It has certainly been worse in the past, so we didn't pick a terrible time to go. But so yeah, Trivago was fantastic, and I just basically like mapped out a trip for us that I thought would be really nice. Craig got to see the things that he wanted to see. I got to see what I wanted to see, and we stayed, so we went from Saarland to, which was mostly actually the little town called Hornbach that we stayed in. So we went from Hornbach to Heidelberg. We stayed in Heidelberg for a few days. We stayed at the Park Atlantic Hotel in Heidelberg, which was really nice. We were within walking distance of like the main downtown area, and that was less than 100 euros a night. Most of the places that we stayed were either like 120 euros or less than 100 euros. Can I help you?
Yeah, but that called from my right there by our pathway.
It's right there by the pathway? Mm-hmm. Okay. It looks like you might need a new Elsa dress. This is looking a little scraggly on you, huh?
No.
No, it's not. Here, your stuff came apart in the back. That's why. There you go. Okay, can we move this chair out of the way because it's kind of bugging Mama? Thank you. So, yeah, hotels really weren't terrible, and most of the places that we stayed at were really, really nice. We just basically used the hotel room to sleep at night, so, I mean, I wasn't looking for hotels that had, like, spas or anything like that. The resort that we stayed at had a spa, but that was, you know, because our friend was getting married there, well, I think I would have actually still stayed there. Honestly, if he would have gotten married at some other place in the town, I would have probably still chosen to stay there because it was so nice, and that was only 89 euros a night. And that was like, that included like a huge continental breakfast. That was one thing that I did include in all of our hotel packages, if it wasn't included already, is the continental breakfast, because I knew they'd be pretty good, and that saved us having to like walk out into the city in the morning just for breakfast. But you can certainly find cheaper places than your hotel to eat. Stella, I'm going to need you to move away from there because I can't get into my drawer. Stella, get off the chair. Okay, you need to stop. Do you want to go in your room?
I'm going in my room.
Okay. We're having an overly dramatic day here. So, yeah. Really, so by the time that we paid for like the hotels and our dinners and, you know, like outings, like to the different like museums and stuff that we went to, it was probably right around $3,000. So not bad. And keeping in mind that we didn't have to buy our plane tickets for that. So it was certainly not a cheap vacation, but it also wasn't nearly as expensive as it could have been because we did the airline miles and got our tickets for free. So that would be probably my number one recommendation, is if you can get a credit card with really good airline miles, do that. Just like pay every single like bill, possibly including even your mortgage if your company allows it, through your credit card, because you're going to have those bills anyway, right? So just pay them on your credit card and then have the money in your account to pay it off at the end of the month. I'm not suggesting that you rack up a bunch of debt just to be able to get airline miles. I'm suggesting just pay what you're going to pay anyway, just on your credit card. So that worked really well for us, and we'll do that again and build up the miles, and hopefully in a couple years be able to go back to Germany again with 2 more free tickets. The next time that we go, we will take Stella, so we'll have to probably at least pay for her ticket, but I mean, hopefully it won't be too bad. So better than having to pay for 3 tickets to go to Europe. So anyway, I would say it was a really good decision for us to not take Stella this go around. She would have been far too young for a lot of the things that we chose to do this trip. Craig is a huge history buff, and so we did a lot of like World War II history stuff. We actually spent a full day in Bastogne in Belgium, and it was really cold that day, and I mean, I'm talking, it felt like it was like 30 degrees out. It was so cold and so rainy. It was awful. But it was really worth the trip for the museum that they had there for Craig. He found it absolutely fascinating, and he definitely got his history fix. He has always been really interested in World War II, and so it was really neat for him to see all of like the major landmarks that he's always seen in all of these documentaries and stuff, just basically in real life though. So everything, sometimes when you see it in documentaries, things seem like they're so much larger, but when you actually see them in person, you're like, oh, this is it? You know, like when we went to Nuremberg and we saw like the Nazi rally grounds and stuff, we actually were standing like at the place where Hitler like had his podium and stuff. And when you see that in like documentaries and movies and stuff, you're like, that looks massive. It just looks like this massive structure. And it's big, but it's not nearly as big as what I thought it would be. So that was really kind of interesting. But yeah, Craig had a really good time and just really enjoyed like the historical aspects of our trip. I really liked seeing my family. That was fantastic, you guys. I didn't record any footage while we were with family because, one, I wanted to just like focus on my time with them. It had been a long time since I'd seen a lot of them. My Aunt Petra and my Uncle Louis have both come to the U.S. and visited us here, but my Aunt Doris I hadn't seen since I was like 10 years old, so it was really great to see her and my cousins and just spend time with them. I also didn't want to have to like explain why I'm vlogging. One, my German was absolutely terrible. It did get better the more that we like traveled, and I had to like, I was forced to like speak. It definitely caused me to remember quite a bit, but you know, my German isn't all that great, and I think that they would probably think that the whole YouTube thing was kind of a little bit weird. So anyway, I chose to just spend the time with family, and that was amazing. We went to my Oma and my Opa's old house, which my uncle actually inherited. So he's still living there. It was amazing to see how much smaller everything seems now that I'm like 36 versus when I was 10 when we left. My Oma's house always seemed so much bigger, but when I went upstairs into like their apartment where they used to live, everything was just so small. Like, I mean, it was just like the smallest little apartment, and like seeing the bathtub that she used to bathe us in, and you know, the living room where my Opa would always sit underneath this window. Do you hear the copycat back here? Okay, 01 Nova. It was just really, really amazing. It brought back like a huge flood of memories, and it's nuts because I completely remembered like everything. Like I remembered how to get to like the cemetery. I remembered how to get to the church. I remembered how to like get to the house when we first pulled into the town. Like it just all of a sudden was like, oh yeah, like this is my home, which was really neat. And we also went around to see the apartments where I used to live with my mom and my brother, and then subsequently my stepdad. By the way, it's my stepdad who is American. He was stationed in Germany at a Air Force base called Ramstein. And so my mom met him while he was stationed in Germany. And when he got out of the military, we moved to the US with him. So my biological parents are both German. My real dad now lives in Australia, though. He doesn't even live in Germany anymore. So, by the way, I'm just doing kind of what's been like my everyday, like, neutral look. I haven't been wearing like a ton of makeup. I've still been really tired from coming back from the trip and everything, so I haven't really been in the mood to wear like a ton of makeup. But what I have worn has been really easy, but kind of like a nice polished look where I can totally like run out and do errands and still feel like I'm like put together somewhat anyway. Stella, you're gonna get dizzy.
I'm not gonna get busy.
Not busy, dizzy.
Busy?
Dizzy. Do you want to throw up?
I want to throw up.
You don't want to throw up? God. I was so glad to get back to Stella though, you guys. I missed her so much. It was good to be away because I missed her just a ton. But then I also was like, oh, I don't ever want to be away from her this long again. She had a really great time with my parents. My mom had like a ton of art projects and stuff planned for her. And they went, I don't want to say it too loudly, P-A-R-K every day. We're not going today, so I didn't want to like get her hopes up. I actually have to work on a floral order after I'm done here. But so they did all sorts of things together. They went to the Children's Museum several times. My mom bought a pool for her for the backyard. So it was really great, honestly, for my parents to have the time with Stella. And it was good for Craig and I to have the time together. So yeah, I wanted to touch on that again. When I did my Chit Chat Get Ready With Me that I uploaded while I was gone, a lot of you definitely had really great feedback and sort of agreed with the approach of like taking time together as a couple to, you know, grow and kind of reconnect. And that was definitely something that was really good for both Craig and I. We definitely had a chance to just be together, just him and I, which since this one has come into the picture has been a lot harder, you know. Like once you start having kids, like your entire life kind of starts to revolve around them, as it should. But sometimes you forget to take time together, and this was a really great opportunity for Craig and I to take some time together. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish up my lashes and my brows really quickly, and I'll come back, show you guys what the finished look looks like, and then just kind of give like some final thoughts on the trip. So I'll be back. So finish the rest of my makeup. This is my kind of everyday go-to look right now. Again, I will link everything that I used down below for you. Just some finishing thoughts. We did rent a car, by the way, and that's how we got around. All of like the US car rental companies are also in Germany, maybe throughout like all of Europe. So I think we went through Ebates. And of all the cars that we got like a Ford C-Max. So we drove all the way around Germany in a Ford. We were kind of joking about it because we were like, we are in the land of like amazing European cars. We could have gotten a BMW, we could have gotten a Mercedes, a Volkswagen, and we got a Ford. It was fine. The car was fine. We weren't looking to like spend a small fortune on a car, but the car was brand new and it was really roomy for the two of us, and it had a navigation system, which is key, by the way. Get a car with a navigation system because that was so friggin' helpful for us. Also, maybe look up some of like the street signs, like what they mean before you travel. We didn't think to do that, and so little things like that you don't realize until you're driving around and you're like, what the hell does that sign mean? So keep that in mind. Just do a little bit of Googling. When we got to our first hotel room in Frankfurt, we were like, yeah, that's the first thing we need to Google. By the way, I made sure that all of our hotel rooms had free internet included. They didn't all necessarily, so that was something that I put into the search engine with Trivago, and I also made sure that they all had a parking lot on site that we could use. So that's something that you may want to think about too, especially when you're in more congested cities like Munich and Heidelberg and some of like the other like major cities like Nuremberg, because it can be really hard to find parking when you're in like a super metropolitan area. So that was one of the things that I thought was really important to note. Let's see what else. I honestly can't think of anything else right now. However, I would be happy to do like a follow-up, like question and answer type video on the trip for those of you that had questions from like the vlogs, which by the way, there's a playlist on my main channel. I will just link. I don't know how to link a playlist. For some reason, I'm not doing that right. So I'll just go to my main channel down at the bottom where it says playlist. The first one is the travel vlogs. I think there's like 6 of them. I ended up not getting very much footage from Munich, and so my camera died and I didn't recharge it before we left. So I'm not going to do a vlog about Munich because literally I only have like 2 minutes worth of footage. But if you have any questions, go ahead and list them down below. And if there's enough questions, I will go ahead and answer in a like travel Q&A type video. But yes, we had a fantastic time. It was really great. And I'm so glad that we did it. And I can't wait to go back. I love Germany. It's obviously where I'm from. And so it was great to go back home and just see everything again and be reminded of my childhood. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I will see you guys in my next video. So bye.